Peace and love, man. I got a special guest here today. I got somebody that not only is my brother, not only is my friend, but definitely someone that's inspirational, someone that's aspirational. If you looking to become a designer, a graphic designer as well, someone that worked with Def Jam, I think Atlantic or Warner Brothers, um,
Both.
both. Excuse me, both. Right? Someone that lived in Los Angeles, New York City, that has done so much, was a sports player, lacrosse player, football player, and is also a person that's battling lupus as well, right? Like someone that is Tavon, man, is a pure just definition of perseverance, talent, grit, grind. And if you don't know, Tavon is funny, super duper funny, bro, with just his thought process and the way that he speaks. Don't let the dangling earring fool you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these earrings fool you. He's working on his look, and he is just coming on. He's coming out and doing his thing, man. Without further ado, man, peace and love. Tavon, what's good, bro?
What's good, brother? Man, appreciate the introduction, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the Mental Wealth, bro. The show, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to let you know this is where we normalize therapy. This is where we talk about emotional literacy, mindfulness, and we do that through culturally grounded conversations. And I always stress this to people: anybody can be a part of this show. Like you could be a gangster, you could be a reformed person fresh out of jail that's changing their life. You could be someone that never went to jail, that's been totally on a straight and narrow path. But we like to highlight individuals that come from our community, more or less, that's doing positive things within the community. And you don't have to do extravagant things. It's sort of like they ask this question usually when you go back to school. And the question is always, what is one thing that you did this summer that was significant? And then they always say, it doesn't have to be significance. It could be something as just simply tying your shoes, you know what I mean? Or just swimming. And so when I think of you, I think of someone, man, that has accomplished so many things, done so many things, but you're not also in that limelight space where, on TV, we see thugs, we see the gangsters, we see people got to be they got to speak this type of vernacular in order to reach the people. You could be quiet, humble to yourself, do your thing, always just vibing in the background, always just chilling, and still be a quiet force to mess with. And that's somebody that I always think about when I think of you, man. How you feeling today,
Nah, I feel good, man. Just still coming off the high of my art show, my
man?
first one out here, back home. But yeah, no, I like what you said though, man. I've never been. I mean, I've always spoke my mind and spoke up, but it's always been like I always been just low key with it. I never bragged about the shit just because I don't know. I mean, I feel like when you get what you're supposed to get, like you act like it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
there's no need to be loud about it. There's people that done less that are louder about it just because they're not used to it. And I don't judge them or nothing. It's just that's just how they move. You know, I mean, everything came to me so quick and fluid. I mean, it wasn't easy, but it just. I mean, you was there. You saw how fast everything just came. It was one day I was an intern. Next thing I know, I'm album covers up the ass. And
Thanks.
it's just like, man. The next thing you know, I'm in LA, and then
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, being back home, I'm looking back at everything. It still don't even feel real.
I
It
know,
don't
man.
even feel real.
But bro. But that's how life goes sometimes. It goes by so fast. And when you hear about it so much, you know how you see the old dudes that be riding through the streets like in Syracuse and they be in the long gray or brown car, it be leaning. And like
Yeah,
you be like, what's his story? Because just
right,
his
right, right.
it went fast for him too. You know what I mean?
Back, yeah,
I remember my uncle was sitting on the porch and he was like, oh Bubba Saw. I'm like, who the hell is that, bro? Like his car was leaning, he was in the joint like I'm just sitting there. I'm like, yo, but it goes by fast, man. Like you said. But just, bro, you work for Def Jam. You work
mm-hmm.
for Warner Brothers Atlantic. You have been at parties like designing at Jamie Foxx's house, right? You lived in Los Angeles. You had the Sampsonian, which is the whole thing within your house, man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you've came a long way. You've done so many tremendous things, bro. You worked with Young Jeezy. You worked with Rick Ross. I know
Yeah.
you worked with Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with Nas. You worked with I want to say Neo. You worked
Mm-hmm.
with J. Cole. You worked with so many people, man.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of people, man.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's start this off real quick, man. You started drawing before you could read or write. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So when you look back, do you feel like art found you, or maybe you found art?
I just feel like I was born with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was I don't even remember a time that I wasn't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was just as a kid. I mean, even my mom got pictures that I don't even remember being in like some little class or something. I got like a little art smock on and got clay and paint everywhere and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I had to be like 3 or 4, and probably not 4. My brother wasn't born, so I must have been like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been one of those things I just never stopped doing, and just consistently got better and better. And then of course, like I started out, wanting to be a comic book artist, and then I started doing more realistic portraits, and then got into the graphic design, and then learned illustration from that, and then became the art director, and then started saying like, "Fuck it, I want to paint now." Started painting and then doing murals, but all of that kind of like influenced my style. That's why like all my stuff, like my paintings are even like super graphic and like
Mm-hmm.
illustrative. It ain't like I'm trying to be super realistic or trying to look like anybody or copy a picture. I'm just trying to make my own thing go on.
Yeah.
But all of that came, all of that just is all part of the story. You know what I'm saying? And it all makes the book. And yeah, like these wouldn't, if I didn't even go through that journey, like these probably wouldn't even be possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Like, it's always been with me, man. It's just that's my therapy too. At the end of the day,
Yeah. Man, those are some beautiful paintings back there, bro. How much does a piece like that go for?
but these right here are going for 1,500 a piece.
Hmm.
Right here, yeah. But I also have, well, I'm getting prints made this week of them, and they'll range anywhere from like $20 to like $200, depending on the size.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Go higher. Your work is too amazing. It's too
Yeah.
incredible. You think higher. Think you already do think higher yourself. Put that number up there. Them 4,999 for both of them pictures. I'm putting it out there. Four
Yeah,
thousand
no,
nine
you ain't
hundred and
wrong.
99 for both of them pictures. Go higher, bro.
You ain't wrong. I mean, I sold the same size, but that was out in California, so it was a little bit different market. And those was like, I think I sold it for like 2,500 for one of the pieces. It was a painting of Prince, but it was the same size as these.
Mm, I
But
love
my
it.
most expensive piece I sold was for like 7,500.
Okay. Okay.
So it's been up there.
Yeah, man. I went to Invest Fest this weekend. Shout out to Atlanta. That was a beautiful thing. I seen paintings in there, 25,000. You know what I mean? Just and it was a girl with a tree, just with a tree on her head. She was 25,000. I've been in places. I mean, you know this. I've been in places where you be in
Yeah,
spots and them paintings be looking so simple. They be 125,000. You know,
yeah,
350,000. Right? 2 million for like certain pictures. Um,
yeah.
how do you determine like what this gonna cost me 1,500?
Mm. One, I guess, is just really. I mean, they're all personal, so it's like it's hard to part with them either way. But I say like, what's the price number that I'm willing to just give this to somebody? Because low key, I be wanting to keep my shit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it ain't gonna do nothing just sitting with me. You know what I mean? It need to be out in the world in people's living rooms so their friends can see it and be like, where you get that at?
That's a
And so I learned to have to detach after I'm done with them.
mhm.
But it goes in like the time, the materials, the details, and all of that stuff, the size of the canvas, uh, all of that stuff, man. My mom went with me to go buy supplies yesterday,
Yeah.
and she said how expensive it was, and she was like, "Well, see, now I know how much, why you charge so much." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Honestly, it's what I'm charging is on the low end."
Yeah.
I was like, "Cause you,
Go higher because they gonna pay for
yeah,
it. Listen, they don't got no problem standing in line for Louis Vuitton,
no,
Balenciaga, Dolce and Gabbana, uh, A-Lo or whoever is out there, right? It just majority of them just gonna be a trend. So look, you got first of all, you Syracuse native, got the homegrown your homegrown artistic skills. You know what I'm saying? The black man putting in work, somebody that y'all know within the community, but outside of the community, just in terms of just black creativity. We living in an era of AI right now. We live in an era of AI. This is human made. We don't even now it's like, yo, this is human made. This isn't artificially made. This is human made right here. So,
yeah, facts. Very true. Very true. Yeah, AI is a crazy, crazy thing. I use it for certain things like references or something like that if I need to, or I ask it for like advice or like, how do I caption this or when's the best time to post. I use it more like an assistant than anything. You know what I mean? Something to bounce ideas off of, but like actually create my shit, hell no, bro. Like I don't know. I think like that. It's I'm not fully against AI, right? I know you got those people that are super against this and what it's doing to the planet and stuff like that. I don't really know too much about that to even speak on it. But as far as it like taking like what it's doing is like is lessening the impact of like what artists actually do. Yeah. And so like me, I can sit here and make this right here, but then you got somebody just sitting in their basement just typing in something in Chat GPT. Was like, oh, look what I did to your piece in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't fucking make it. And then at the same time, it's like, one, you didn't make it. Two, you didn't come up with the idea. And that's the thing, and honestly, that's nothing but just you're not doing anything different than somebody in marketing hiring me to design something. Like, except the designer is AI and you just tell them what to do. You're still not an artist. Because that's the argument now where people say, oh, how am I not an artist? This is my tool. You're not making nothing. You're not. And a lot of this stuff is, you can tell it's just starting to call it AI slop because everything is just like regurgitated. Everything looks exactly the same from the flyers, the logos, the fonts, the coloring, everything. I can tell it from a mile away. Even like the videos when they come out, how the voice is like a little choppy, and some of the pictures, they be having like 6 fingers or something crazy like that. It's just like you can tell automatically, but nobody's even getting creative with the AI. I mean, there's a few, but it's few and far between. But most of the people that's just doing it to claim they're artists now. You weren't thinking about being an artist before this was even a thing.
Now I'm an artist
like,
now.
Yeah, now I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? This is like it's like somebody just getting some studio equipment and want to be fucking a rapper or like a singer, and it's like you ain't never did that in your life, but now you want to do it just because you got access to it. And to me, I find it disrespectful just for the fact that it's like I know how much work I put in just to get to this, and now all you doing is pressing a button and trying to turn my shit into something. You know what I'm saying? Because there are still another artist's work. They're taking their pictures and throwing it in there and putting some commands on it to change the color. Yeah. And I'm just like, dog, like, I don't know. There got to be some kind of way that the government has to, get a hold of that shit because it's going to mess up a lot of stuff.
Yo, you said so much powerful things within this conversation just now, just conversing with me right now about that. I was speaking to this young lady this weekend and I was asking her about it. I'm like, well, how does AI affect you? And she was like, I don't really use AI. She was like, I use it for assets more than anything. She was like, I create, from my brain and my mindset. She was like, but I will use it as an asset. And I was like, well, what do you mean by asset? And she was like, she would just add things. Once the piece is already done, she would now just add things with AI. You know what I mean? Like I really don't. I could sit and decipher that and break that down, but I'm sure I'm thinking she's talking about little small things here and there that AI piece.
She like she a designer or something?
Yeah, she was a designer.
Okay, I know what she mean. Yeah, because it's like you can make like your main piece. Like, because I did this before. Cause I had to go to a Adobe Max conference, and they showed us like all the AI tools and stuff. So, since my company paid for it, that shit was $3,000 ticket. So I had to show them what I learned while I was there. And I like made this whole scene with this soldier, right? Grab this soldier, design what I want to design, put the background in there. But then I use AI to kind of like add little stuff. Like I added a whole and put him in it, like in the trenches, and I put like a gate around him, you know what I'm saying? And then I put like an explosion in the background, and I put like some little like debris coming out from there, shit like that.
Mm.
Like little stuff like you can like illustrate like a mermaid or something, right, coming out of the water. And you can do that all by hand or on a computer or whatever. And then you're like, oh, I want a butterfly on there. And you can paint a butterfly on there if you want, or you can just do a little small command just to add that to it. Which I'm not against that because it's only like an accent. It ain't it's making the piece, but it's not like the main thing of the piece.
Okay.
It's just you adding stuff to it. Yeah.
So let me ask, because I'm getting off a little topic here. I got a couple of questions, but this has been a great piece for people that's listening and want to really know about this information. Let me ask you this: like, has it slowed down business for you in a sense? Like, have you been affected by it personally?
Yeah, I have actually. Like design work is the slowest it's ever been. I mean, I just picked up a project the other day, so I mean, I'm hoping that goes well. But I don't know. I think once people get tired of seeing like the same thing over and over, you know what I mean? Like it'll come back full circle.
Yeah.
This is like fucking wide leg jeans that came back. You know what I'm saying? People gonna want the human made stuff because you can't get originality with if somebody that's given the commands has doesn't have a creative mindset and has a limited mindset, you're only gonna get so far.
Yeah.
So it's like either you're gonna hire the creatives to create these commands for you, or you're gonna hire the creatives to make it for you.
Mm.
Because it's like, I mean, a lot of them like, oh, well, I can do it myself now. And I'm like, how that's going for you? Because all that shit look exactly the same as the last person.
All looked exactly the same. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nothing original. Everything got the same kind of font, the same kind of just vibe to it. But I will say this though. The thing that I think is going to also change the platform though is prompts. The way that you
Yeah.
utilize your prompts, right? So it will no longer be, can you create this? Because we're all going to be able to create that. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, to me and my mindset, that it's going to break down intellectually to how well you can create a prompt and be able to
Yeah.
add that into the business. Because yo, bro, the stuff I've seen this weekend, the thing
Yeah.
you can add if you have the right mindset, you can have Chat GPT create a whole staff for you and use them continuously and be able to render and add different things to your pictures and paints and emails and so forth. So I do
Yeah.
think that, to your point, we will get to a space of human made things that like that we're still gonna love, but also for
Yeah.
those who are, because one thing about ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or anything that you're out there using, if you're smart enough to use those things, it also can balance the playing field a bit in terms of resources, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know how many times I wanted to find somebody, not you, because you was used to always show me love, but just to find somebody to do a graphic design for me, somebody to
Yeah.
do a video for me real quick and just add this. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, it became at one point, it was like pulling teeth. Like these guys started acting like they were up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, bro, come down for a second. You know what I mean? Like it was starting to get to the point where like if you had a camera and you could just shoot, these guys were just putting themselves in a place of like upper echelon of like
Yeah.
mindfulness. So I don't know, but I know that the technology, the AI, kind of balanced that a little bit, where you can get things done a little faster sometimes. So that's just how I think about it a little bit too. So
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And like it ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? I do think it needs to be regulated because I don't think AI music needs to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like when it starts to steal from other artists is where I think it needs to be regulated at.
oh,
And yeah, like I said, it ain't going nowhere. And I had this conversation years ago with my coworkers. I was like, it ain't going nowhere. I was like, the best thing we could do is learn it inside and out. I was like, we art directors, so we would just have to be able to turn that art direction into prompts
yeah.
to be able to get what we want. Because I mean, I did see some fly shit. Like Jeezy did. He had I don't know if it was an album or like a flyer, but it was something about him doing something live
Mm-hmm.
and had the snowman, but it looked like super realistic. But it
Yeah.
was like blinged out, and then it had like a live band behind them, and it was
Mm-hmm.
dark and all this. It looked cold as hell, and I was like, "Damn, that's tough. I'm not gonna hold you."
That's
I was like,
that's a beautiful, right?
"Yeah," and I'm like, "If you're gonna make something like at least use your prompts and like wow some shit. You know what I mean? Like if you gonna make it do it, like let me be like, damn, okay, I see, I get it, I get it.
I'm always for human made originality. You know what I mean? I'm always for that. But as somebody who also been in the space of not having a dollar that needed people, and sometimes it'd be a lot of glazing going on, and people only want to work with this particular person, or they won't even want to work with this kind of crowd.
Yeah,
I can see the balance. I can see the balance sometimes of it.
100%.
I mean, but
Yeah,
quick, not to cut you off, not cut your wisdom. I want to move forward real quick because I got many questions to ask you, man.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so you wrote a letter to yourself in high school, right? You wrote this letter to yourself when you were younger, about
Mm,
you becoming a successful graphic designer. What
yeah.
would your younger self, looking at your older self right now, what would your younger self, pretty much, what do you think that younger version of you would say if he can see just the older version of you today?
Man, manifestation is real. I ain't know nothing about manifestation. Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. Like when I wrote that shit to myself, I was bullshitting. Cause like, bro, I was just looking up art career because I didn't know what I wanted to do back then.
Uh-huh.
And I saw graphic design, so I just typed that up to get it across because we had to do it. And then just, bro, the power writing shit down is real because that's exactly which way my career path went, and I didn't even plan it to go that way. But if my younger self saw me now, bro, like I think the first thing I'll be is I would say to myself, my younger self would say to me is how, like how in the hell did we get to do all of that? Like because
Yeah.
that when I was 18, none of that shit seemed possible. You know, like when we was in school, like
Bro,
we
we
had counselors and stuff. They ain't really tell us shit. They was just like, this is how they got me to college. They thought, oh, you getting recruited to play lacrosse? Oh, you should go there. They ain't worried about no majors, no nothing, damn classes, nothing, bro. I got up there, they started talking about majors. I'm like, I don't want to do none of this. They ain't even have art up there. So what am I even doing here? I was ready to transfer, and then they ended up getting art as a major the end of my sophomore year, and then I took that. I was the first student to sign up for it. But bro, yeah, younger self would have been like, I think if my younger self saw me, he would have took shit a lot more serious. You know what I mean? Because I just went through life, and I mean, shit was just happening, and like I was just very blessed to be in the right place with the right people at the right time, and there has been so many times that shit popped up, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like, and you got to play it cool until you get home and want to call all the homies and tell them this shit, you know? Because I mean, I remember I remember so much of that. I remember first walking in the Def Jam building, the niggas still had cornrows and baggy t-shirts and baggy jeans, and I went up in there and I was just like, "Damn, people getting paid for this? That's crazy." And I saw a dude working on camera on the Purple Haze project. Shout out to Robert Sims. He was working on the packaging, and then he showed me. He clicked one button, bro, and then like I seen that camera. I was wearing pink through everything, but he turned it purple, and I was like, "Damn, how you do that?" So I was instantly intrigued, and I was like, "All right, I gotta learn this." So I would dissect his files, do all of that stuff, learning, and I would be there till like 2 in the morning. As an intern, I wasn't getting paid. I was broke as shit, but I was so obsessed with that shit. And then it was like I was in Def Jam at the end of the day. I'm like, where else I want to be at?
Bro, I would have never been able to experience Def Jam if you wasn't there. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you wasn't there, I would have never been able to experience Def Jam. And those are things those are moments in my life that I'm grateful for. Like I was able
Mm-hmm.
to walk in there, see all of the cubicles, people just in there just working. You took me to the spot to sit down and just like, yo, oh, this is where it's at. And like just walk, I seen the, just seeing like it was amazing, bro. Like to be in there, like in terms of like just this is a legendary place to be. This it blew my mind, man. Like I couldn't have imagined it. Like you said, something we thought about. Like it wasn't even like in reality thinking I was gonna be there to visit you and stuff like that. It wasn't even on my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I never thought that would be a real thing. I'm just like, so
right.
when you got there, you're there, you working with everybody, doing camera projects. Who was the first artist, the first package that you had to pause? Who was the first artist You know what I mean? The packaging that you had to work on.
It was Young Jeezy, the inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Young Jeezy, the inspiration. And the way that happened was, I mean, they too, boy. They had, I was interning for like, well, I was interning for 6 months and then I was working there. So I interned from June to December 2004. And then 2005, they brought me on temporarily for like, it was only supposed to be for 4 days. Then they extended it to 5, and then that shit ended up being 5 years. But 2006, after me just being a junior designer, practicing with everybody else's shit, they did layoffs. They did crazy layoffs. And then that's when, I started kind of get my own little style in there at that point.
Yeah.
And so I studied under some great art directors. And then that's when Grace came in and she brought everybody in from her team in. And bro, I was in there like, damn, I ain't even really got no portfolio like that. I'm in there showing fucking sketches and like bus raps and shit. Just like, give me a chance. And she was like, no, I'm gonna give you a chance. And then she told me she wanted me to do Jeezy project because his art director that I was working on it got laid off.
Yeah.
So I just got that shit handed to me, bro. I used every bit of knowledge I had of Photoshop in that album package.
Wow.
I got about a million fucking prayer hands in that damn in that album package. But bro, I was in there like, I'm about to do everything I learned in this shit.
Yeah.
But it worked because everybody saw it and they was like, damn, we didn't know you can get down like that. And then shit, not even a week later, I got the Hip Hop is Dead cover right after that. And then after that, that shit was it was up from there after that.
He took a picture with the legendary Nas.
I did, bro. I had to. I ain't gonna hold you. I was fanning out.
Yeah.
I went to the shoot and I was so nervous when I got there because I'm like, I was working with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was already experienced, but I was like, man, I've been listening to Nas forever. So it was like, I started to like feel the magnitude of like how big of an artist he is. And I was like, fuck. I was like, damn, bro, I took like 2 shots of vodka before I went in there, bro, and just had to calm my nerves. But I did everything right because I hired a photographer. This was for the Untitled album. You know what I'm saying? So I hired the photographer that shot Illmatic to do this shoot. So bring it like full circle. And so when the photographer came in, he brought all the like unseen photos from Illmatic. So when Nas getting his haircut, he's showing them. Nas was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, where you find this dude at? I was like, I did my research. And shit, man, them first impressions is everything. So he was rocking with me after that. Every time I see him, I just tell him about those album covers and he just be like, oh, yeah, come here, you cool, yeah. So but yeah, those are the first two that launched everything. That
Bro,
shit happened super quick.
do you know how big your head could be, bro? Like, do you know how? That's what I'm saying. Like on some humble vibe, how you could be. That would be like my Facebook uh cover. That would be my Instagram cover. Those
Mhm.
pictures would be like my flyers for parties. I would just be like you know what I mean. That's why I say God know what he be doing, bro. Because
Yeah.
you could be in a whole different mindset, you know what I mean? But you literally took it as you
Mhm.
just like, yo, let me calm down, let me be in my space, and let me get my
Yeah.
mind right.
And the crazy thing is, social media wasn't even lit like that. It was only, I think, MySpace was out at
Yeah.
the time, and so like, I think Facebook had just went public in like 2008 or something like that, and I just got a Facebook page, but it didn't feel like a kind of platform now I'll post that type of shit on. So I just kind of kept it wraps. So I'll just post little things on my MySpace and stuff like that. By the time Instagram came out, like all my shit was old. And so it was like, people still to this day still finding out shit that I did. Like I'll post like I think somebody posted a old Fab cover I did, and shit. Even I forgot about it.
Funeral Fab.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember
So
the
everybody,
Funeral Fab covers.
the funeral Fab, man. Yo, it was everybody was just like just because it's like in New York they know me for like the art direction and the albums.
Yeah.
LA they know me for painting, and so a lot. But I was in LA longer than I was in New York, so now they out there seeing me painting all the time. Now it's just like, yo, I didn't know you did album covers like that. And I was like, oh yeah. I mean, that's really what I was known for, but they all know me for this. But it's like I got pretty successful at the painting too, because I got the LA Times feature, did some stuff with Facebook and all that. Did a couple murals and commissions. So yeah, so it's like it was very interesting, man. I live a very blessed and interesting life. Ain't a dull moment.
I love it, man. I love it, man. So many blessed and interesting moments, man, but also just inspirational moments. And it's like kids, if you watching, or people don't really say this, but I'm gonna even say to older people, you know what I mean? Like older people, if you watching, like you can still find those moments to live your dreams and push for your dreams. But younger kids, push for your dreams, push for your goals, and you might be the first to come from your neighborhood and not have an example. Me and Tavon had no examples, to be
Not
honest.
at all.
There was no examples. There wasn't no mentor. It's like Tavon said, I want to bring that back, what you said, because I don't want to forget that moment. We're talking about career counselors that didn't help us do a jack shit. Shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can get you here. And I got told the same thing, and they did nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Did shit for me. Didn't send out a letter, didn't push nothing for me, but still was able to turn your life around, make it happen, man. And
Yeah.
Tavon is a prime example of someone like that coming from Syracuse and then, getting into these rooms around these legends, man. So, but you got to have the talent and you got to be prepared and you got to be ready and somebody got to give you a shot, so you never know. That's why I say networking is also important, or just keeping those bridges and not burning them. Sometimes when you coming from the bottom, you feel like don't nobody like me, nobody care about me, so you willing to burn every shot you got, but you can't burn every single shot. You can't show every nigga you around to kiss my ass and da 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 da. You shortening, you limiting yourself, and they're gonna look at you and judge you off of that and not give you an opportunity. So mindful of that. Real quick, T. So my bad. So you went from Syracuse to Cuca, right? And from
Yeah.
Cuba, you went to, I remember you went to New York City and then you moved to Los Angeles as well. I think you came back for a quick second and then you moved back out there.
Well, no, I always lived out there. I just came back to like visit for like a while. So
Okay.
I'll come back. I'll come back for like a month or two to just hang with the family, but I still have my place and all that out there.
Okay. So let me ask you. So what did each chapter, teach you about yourself that you couldn't have learned by staying just in Syracuse?
Man, that's a great fucking question, actually. Cuca,
Mental wealth,
oh,
baby. The cure is in the
yeah,
conversation
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Let's go.
Nah,
Let's go.
definitely a real good question. Nobody asked me that. Cuca taught me like my independence because it was the first time I was legit just on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like no kind of, your parents ain't there, your grandparents ain't there. Like you fully responsible for your shit. Now they had your back if shit went wrong, but just being up there and making new friends, and then you and your friends all just figuring life out. You know what I'm saying? That right there prepare me to like be out in the world by myself. And then so I was comfortable because I met people from New York, and I was like, and they took me down to New York to visit, and I checked it out. I don't know, I could do this. And then of course, Antoine and Mo lived down there, so I moved down there with them when I got the internship. And New York taught me a lot. New York told me that like, bro, it don't matter where you from. If you got that ambition and that drive, man, you can do what the hell you want to do, bro. Like New York is really one of those places that if you really
Living
want to
proof
make
right
it,
now. Go ahead.
yeah, if you want to make it happen, like you can make it happen, but you gotta really want that shit because there's a million motherfuckers trying to do it. And but that one right there taught me like, oh, you can't tell me shit. Like if I can do this in New York, you really can do that shit anywhere in the world. Like the way that city moves, bro, and if you move the right way, like man, like you can become successful really like in a real way there. Like it's a grind though. It's definitely a grind. Like it's a lot of sleepless nights there, but like I said, you
Where?
gotta want
New
to do
York?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So New York definitely prepped me for that. And of course I met my future wife, ex-wife there.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then
Wait,
you know,
excuse me.
yeah.
You was married?
Yeah, I was married. I was married for like 7 years.
Bro, I never knew you was married.
Yeah, bro. I was married for 7. I was with her for 11.
Bro, you never said that. That, see what I'm, okay, see? See, I
That's
never,
crazy. I thought everybody knew that.
no, bro,
Mm-hmm.
we just, you know what? Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, so so yeah, so you know, got married, whatever. I didn't get married till I got to LA though, but I proposed to her in New York. Her job was moving her. I was kind of ready for a little shake up because I felt like I did all I could do in New York at the time. Because I wasn't really feeling creative. I was just designing shit, but it was like whatever. Like at that point, I didn't kind of been jaded, so I just needed a little shake up. So we moved to LA. And when I got out there, we had moved by the right by the beach. So I was like a block away from the beach, and that shit was crazy. So I would walk to the
It seemed
beach.
like a dream come true, right? Like, come on.
Man, it was fire. Like, I mean, shoot, man, listen, that's why it's like, you know, like I do miss my life out there because I have so many great moments out there and I love living out there, like sunshine every day. I can go to the beach any time of the year, just walk outside palm trees, and like the area I lived in before I left was called like Little Tokyo, had all these Japanese stores and restaurants and it was cool. It was very niche over there. And then like the art district was right there. Like I miss all of that, you know what I mean? But it's like awesome. It's my family. So it's I was kind of stuck in between. But LA taught me how to just be more free with like being creative, and and just like kind of hone in but also showed me how I can get distracted.
Yeah.
It definitely showed me it's very easy to get distracted in LA. There's always something to do. And I mean, it ain't all bad stuff. It's like there's just events every day. Art event, art shows, food fairs, whatever. And then you got homies that's in all of these things and you want to go support, but you got to make a decision if you're going to support them or work on your own shit because that can be an everyday thing. But that's what happened to me is just like getting caught up with that. You get distracted. And I started dating some girl that was distracting me as well. And that shit was just all bad. But it just showed me that I can get distracted really easy. But if you lock in LA, you can definitely get in some rooms out there. It's like if you move how you move in New York, in LA, you'll run laps around a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because people like out there, they call them, and this ain't even like the natives out there. It's people that move out there with dreams, but don't be really about it. You know what I'm saying? They call them like the LA Flakers.
Mm.
Like you'll make plans with them or a meeting and then they'll flake because it's traffic or this and that and it's always something, so people don't really be doing it like that. In New York, you'll be like, yo, I want to meet you. And they're like, what you doing at like 3 o'clock? Like that meeting happening today.
Fact. What we doing? What we talking about?
Yeah. And it's like you doing that. And it was just like, cause shout out to my homie Aristotle. I know when we was in New York, we would just get up in the morning. I would tap in with him. We'll meet down in like Midtown Manhattan around like 23rd or something over by the Carmel Loop office. Go there, and then we'd just go to different meetings. Like one time, we was going to Jim Jones' studio, rapping it with him about his promotion for his project, and just running around doing everything. I'm going to Peter Rosenberg's apartment to talk about his wedding invitations and stuff, or save the dates. And bro, it was so much stuff that was happening in New York, bro. And we did like not even like an art show or nothing. We did a website launch party, bro. And we had a line around the block. And that was the craziest, bro. It was so crazy how like
in LA.
No, this is in New York.
You're okay.
Yeah, it was in New York. So I took that and wanted to bring that to LA, but everybody doesn't always have that same type of mindset. So I kept reminding myself like this ain't New York. Everybody not gonna want to move at that pace like I want to move. But then you start getting used to the pace out there too, so you kind of slow it down a little bit. After, especially out, I was out there 14 years. You start to calm down, and plus, you get older. You ain't, I ain't 25 no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to be up to 4 in the morning every day.
Back hurt. My knee hurt.
Bro, facts.
I got acid reflex tonight. I don't know what's happening.
I make noise when I get up the chair and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little different now. Like I still got it in me if I need to, but it's like I only got about 1 or 2 of those nights in me.
Yeah. Man, now you get. Remember when you was younger, you used to look at your family member, like your moms or pops, or somebody bend over and grab something, like
Yeah.
What's all that about? Now you might grab something and be like,
right. Right. Bro. It was like I couldn't do it as much. I mean, but I did a lot in LA too. So it was like, I had I think before I left, I did like it was like a women's sports event, and I painted these cornhole boards,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did something with this art show where we was reimagining album covers. So I did like a little Ninja Turtles remix on the Nas Hip Hop Is Dead cover, and
Yeah,
after that, I left after that. But I do feel like it's unfinished business. You know what I mean? Even though I did a lot, because it was like the year before I did I was at the Adidas store. I had an art show at the Adidas store, and then I was showing art at the Coliseum. Like it was some major plays out there where I was like, I could see where this is going. Like you said, Jamie Foxx house. You know what I mean? A whole bunch of that stuff. Comic Con. I was in Comic Con out there. It was definitely like a whole bunch of like steps. So LA was big distractions, but if you can ignore those, you can make some huge steps out there.
I like that. Man,
Yeah.
we getting closer to the end of the time. I know we are. You know what I mean? We got so much. Yo, it's so much things we gotta unpack. Just I
Mm.
mean, me and you can definitely do a part two. We have so many memories and just things that we
Yeah.
talk about. But I want to just for the people that's checking you out, man, to get to know you a little bit. So I want to switch gears real quick, just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. And because you it's on a when did you get a divorce?
Two, we separated in 2019, and I think the divorce went final in 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Either 2020 or 2021, because we both had to sign some paperwork, and she was hard to get a hold of, so we had to just meet in and do it and just send it off.
What
But
did
it was amicable though.
Yeah. When did you get married?
2012.
All right, so 2012 and you got married and wow, bro. So when we went to wow, so you was married even when we went to the mother weddings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, let's see. Not Antoine wedding, no.
Okay.
Nah, I was married at Kev wedding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because at yeah, Antoine wedding there was somebody. Okay. I got you.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So here we are. We now getting a divorce. We're in a space of how was your mindset? What was your mind like around that time, man?
Oh, with the divorce?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. At first I was so numb because like there was stuff that led up to it. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like we just kept missing each other's beats. Like I ain't gonna say I was innocent in the shit either. So it was one of those things where I just gave up at one point, you know, because I just felt like I couldn't make them happy, and it was just always something that was bothering them, and I was just like, fuck that, I'm just gonna focus on what I got to do. And so I dove into the art. I didn't feel like she really believed in it like that back then. Um, and you know that support is everything, especially at home.
It is.
And so I just dove heavy into that, and I was just barely home. You know, I would come home super late, like 3, 4 in the morning, and then wake up at like 7 to leave before she got up. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. I was just kind of moving numb. It didn't hit me until like when she had moved out and gave me my key. It hit me a little bit, and then I was just kind of like, all right, well, shit, I'm kind of like free now to do what I want, you know. But then, you know, I started to see how much I had balance when I was in a marriage. You know what I mean? How that balanced me out and more like kept me a little bit more calmer instead of just running around wild everywhere.
Mm.
Uh, so you know, it started to hit me, and I mean, that's still at times it does because you know you don't get married to get divorced. You know what I'm saying? I thought that it would still be going on now, but that ain't the case. And sometimes I think about it. You know, I see my friends married, I see other people married, and I mean, I know it ain't all fucking peaches and rainbows and shit, but it's still like, you know, they found their person. I thought I found mine, but yeah, it fucked my head up a bit. You know, I think I'm just now starting to really like get over shit.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
That's real, man. And we appreciate you even talking about that, sharing that experience, because I know that's not easy. I've always tell people this, man. Relationships are extremely hard, but when it comes to like a breakup or if it comes to like just dealing with the ins and out of a relationship, and like you trying to wrap your mind on your own sanity and make them happy, those things that keep you up all night, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not an easy place. Like I wouldn't wish that energy on nobody, because it's just trying
Right.
to get over that and deal with it and trying to go to sleep, and you got all type of crazy thoughts and things of that nature. And like you said, you get numb. And a lot of times for black men such as ourselves, we figure out like, oh, let's detach. Let me not
Yeah.
absorb that. Let me go smoke that away, drink that away, go screw
Mhm.
that away. Let me go into causing other energies and negative vibes and stuff like that away. And
Mhm.
we don't really take time to process that in a way that is good for our own well-being, and being able to talk to a therapist or talk to people that really we can express ourselves to. So you know bro, hats off to you, man. I know it wasn't easy, man, but now here we are, right?
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
here. And when did you find out you had lupus?
Oh man, I was 12, so back in '94.
Yeah, what was that conversation like for you?
Man, honestly, bro, I'm different. So like when I was a kid, I mean, I always just thought like I can get over anything that's thrown at me. I mean, it was scary, but it was just like, all right, well, what do I got to do? You know what I mean? That was always my mindset. Like, what do I have to do then? And so I woke up one day and I couldn't move. Like, I literally couldn't move. My body was so sore, I just couldn't. Like, the phone was ringing, and it was like a few feet away from me, but I couldn't walk. So like, I'm crawling to the phone, and by the time I got to it, it stopped ringing, and I just kind of laid on the floor. So my mom got home, and then she was wondering what the hell was wrong with me, and I told her. I think she thought I was over exaggerating at first because she didn't know what was going on, and so then I had this rash on my face too. So we went to see the doctor because I had like let me rewind that. I was racing my brother one day, and I fell and I cut my lip up on some glass, right? And so my mom took me to like a dermatologist to see if that will like affect me get when I get older, like my mustache and scarring and stuff like that. And then he saw the rash on my face and said that I should get checked out for lupus. And so that's what happened. Of course, like the doctors explained to me what it is and how it's been affecting my kidneys and all of that. And I mean, I didn't really have like a full understanding of it at first, being 12, but I was just like, well, what do I got to do? And, they were just like, oh, well, you got to stay away from this food. You got to do this. And you got to take these medications. And of course, that's when I took the medication that blew my face up and all of that. That was tough. You know what I'm saying? I can
It
fuck
didn't
up
look
this
the
up.
same.
Nah, it didn't look the same. It was crazy. And, and then it was like it made you weaker. I couldn't play football that year. So that hurt. But you know, it's always like you got to look at it by perspective. Because if that didn't happen, and I didn't play football, I would have never discovered to play lacrosse. Because that's why I played. Because it was like I played volleyball first. Shout out to Rick Springer. He like, you should just play volleyball. I was like, all right, cool. So we was at Clary playing volleyball. I was like, that's fun. I want to do some different shit now. So then after that season was over, he was like, yo, you should come play lacrosse. Did that, played lacrosse, and then I was only gonna do it for 1 year. And then Coach Smith made me play my freshman year of high school. Then I was kind of stuck after that because he told me, being a black lacrosse player, like you get recruited heavily. And he was like, because there's not a lot of y'all. He was like, so just stick with it. And I was like, all right. Then I got recruited and went to the school I went to. And, so it was like, it could have been, I could have looked at it as like doom and gloom when I first found out, but it led to so many different things. You know what I mean? As a kid, I just realized, I was like, I mean, shit, I ain't got no choice. This is just what I got to do. I got to take these meds. I got to be in this hospital. I got to go to the doctor every month. I got to do this. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, just like you got to eat every day, I got to do a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is. I'm lucky that I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm blessed that I can go to the doctors and keep this engine going, and blessed that I can take these medications and have insurance to be able to afford them to do it. So, a lot of people feel sorry for themselves, but I'm like, man, listen, back in the days, you look, if this was in the 1600s, I'd have been gone. So I was like,
My
the
mom's that
fact
the
that
other day.
I'm alive in a time where technology has risen and evolved that can keep you alive and keep you going and fix shit and fix your symptoms and treat you and all of that stuff. That's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Many times I've been in the hospital, bro. Shit, bro, I ain't got nothing to complain about
Yo,
at
bro,
all.
bro, I told my moms that the other day. I said, you don't realize. I said, man, you realize we all would have been dead by like 25 before that, just off the simple fact of like injuries and little ailments and things that we had. Like, I would have been I would have been done. You know what I mean? I broke my finger. I twisted my ankle real bad. I had heart, chest pains and hernias and can't
Yeah,
see at times. You know what I mean? Like I had so many things that technology and medicine has helped us advance, man.
yeah.
So I'm extremely thankful to God and also just the advancement of technology and how it has helped us prosper and live a long life. Um, Let me ask you, when your body is feeling down, but you like, you still ambitious, you still got your goals, you still want to create,
Mm.
but your body is a little tired, how do you balance that?
I get rest.
Mm.
I get rest. What I'll do is like I'll lay down. I'll listen to my body 100%. I don't push it more than it needs to. And, you know, I mean, there's times if I'm like, I got to hit a deadline or something, I'll just hit me some caffeine and keep it going. But most of the time I'll get some rest and I'll lay down and I'll just look at inspiration online and stuff like that. And look at like old videos of myself and stuff, doing stuff to see how far I came till I fall asleep. So I fall asleep with that on my brain. So when I wake up, I'm excited to jump right back into it. So I go to sleep excited and I wake up excited. That's pretty much it. Because even when I was in the hospital, it was like I was tired and all of that, drugged up and all of that stuff. But I would have went crazy if I didn't start sketching. I was just like, man, I gotta do something. So I started sketching them, and I take one piece onto the wall, and then another piece on the wall, and then the next thing you know, people start noticing. They'll walk by, come in, check it out. Are you an artist? Can I get your Instagram? Can I post this? And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know. I think like no matter how tired I am, I always, like I said, I get my rest, but when I'm up, I just make it count.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't really get like too tired like that. Like I keep myself up because I'm at the gym a lot and I do a lot of like walking and stuff. But when I need that rest, hey, that's a non-negotiable for me. I'm getting it. I ain't no team, no sleep. Fuck that.
Ah, hell no.
Like, bro,
I need that.
that's the quickest way to age your ass, bro.
Mm.
Like especially to an early grade, bro. Not getting rest, hell no, bro. If I don't get enough sleep at night, I'm taking a nap. I'm 100% taking a nap. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. Man, you said some powerful things, man, during this interview, man. Let me ask you this question here, bro. There's so much we can unpack. Uh, Someone you just had an exhibition at the
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse Gallery downtown. You had a beautiful, I'm sure you had a beautiful turnout. You had a lot of pictures and things and places. If someone
Mm-hmm.
was walking through there and they looked at all of the pictures and they looked and saw all of the arts, because one thing I want people to realize, those colors that you got in that picture, those colors are specific to Tavon. That's those are colors that Tavon actually picks and utilizes for a lot of his pictures, if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's one thing and you had one message and if someone was just to take away one message about Tavon Sampson, what would you want them to walk away knowing from that exhibition?
From that exhibition, hmm, I don't know if I mean, I can, from that exhibition, honestly, just go for it. You know, I think I had this conversation with this dude in the hospital, and I mean, honestly, like the world is really yours if you want it to be. You just really got to do shit. And so I was in the hospital, and this one dude came in. He was a Knicks fan, and so I was watching the playoffs. He came in my room while I was watching the playoffs and shit. And he saw the drawings, and he was showing me his stuff too. He was like, "Y'all draw too, but ain't no art scene here." I was like, "Nah, bro." I was like, "I bet there is. You probably just ain't look hard enough." You know what
Right,
I'm
you got
saying?
to create it. You got to create
Yeah.
it.
And I was like, and that's what I was saying. I was like, if it ain't one, I'm gonna create one. But I started looking up stuff while I was in the hospital. I'm just, and like, again, when I was tired and I didn't feel like drawing, I lay in the bed and I just look up stuff, art stuff, art stuff. Like I seen they got a whole bunch of stuff at the Everson, like drawing classes. They got like nude models. They got like portrait drawings and stuff like that. I was like, I want to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna just tap into new creatives. I went to art studios, I think to Delavan over on Fayette. Went over there, met some artists over there, thinking about getting a studio there. And then one dude hit me up, dude Cameron hit me up to do an art show with him. And then I connected with some other artists that he put me on to, and then they got me into an art show. And then the girl Candace found out there's somebody else that I was here, and then she put me in the art show. So I would just say, like, whatever you are looking for, it's probably there. You just gotta look a little deeper. And then when you find it, don't be scared. Just go for it, honestly, because what's the worst that can happen? You don't get in. All right, then get better, and then try again. I mean, there's been shit where I ain't win nothing, or like I didn't get into an art show and stuff like that back in. And I was like, well, I mean, I just got to develop myself a little bit more, and that's fine. That's what life is about, just to keep developing and just keep elevating.
And I love it, man. The thing that I took away from that also was like, yo, if it's not there, go look for it. Your mentality, your mindset is on whatever it is you're looking for. So if you don't see it, it's because you're not looking for it. When you decide you want it, when you decide, oh, this is what I want to feel and experience, it will appear. It will be presented to you. And if it's not there, you got to create it, right? Mental wealth. There's nobody who's going to interview me and give me the opportunity and the shot at doing mental wealth and come interview me for a platform with all of the wealth and information and knowledge that I have. That's not, nobody cared to come to me. Even when I was doing music, I had to go create that. I had to go and find that space and put myself in that space, because these opportunities are not given all of the time. Sometimes you have to be the one to create that opportunity. And that's just the kind of world we come from, man. The background we got, man. We created these opportunities. We put ourselves in these spaces. No one was just like, oh yeah, let's just, and I see this a lot of times, and people be so upset and so mad and disgruntled and feel some type of way, but they don't know. Man, we put ourselves in these spaces. We felt confident about the shit that we did, the work that we did. We worked hard for it. We battled for it. We had to put ourselves out there just to get any type of recognition. And there's people, once we got along, that supported us, showed us love, gave us a little more confidence. But we had to show and prove. So if you watch this, mentally, you got to show and prove. You got to put yourself out there. No one's giving you the opportunity. You got to take it sometime or create it, right? And even then, they still gonna criticize you and talk about you, but you still gotta, you know how many people when we first came up, I used to tell you, like, they was hating that you got the Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just mad as hell. And it's the same thing to me. They used to call me like, what you know about music? You ain't did this and you don't know nothing about me. You don't know nothing about me. And so it's, and if you do know, then cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same way you feel about me, they feel the same way about your favorite rapper, your favorite basketball player, your favorite star. They got the same kind of conversation about them, and people still support them, and they still show up. And you know what I mean? So that's when I started realizing that. I'm like, I'm not about to let nobody take me off my grind.
Hell no, because it's only gonna be people that know you, but they know you from the old you, not what you evolving into. You know what I'm saying? So if you try to change or do anything different, it's like, oh, this nigga trying to be this, or this nigga trying to be that. And I look at it like, whether you do it or not, people still gonna talk regardless. So you might as well do what the fuck you want to do, bro. Like, I did a video the other day, and like, I ain't gonna lie, I felt weird as fuck doing it. Like, I was like talking to the camera and all of this, promoting the shit, and I was like, man, I feel weird doing this. But again, who cares? Who cares? Like, I'm gonna do this and put it out. I mean, it's for a purpose. And it's like, and people be like, oh, he corny or this or that. Don't matter. I did it. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because whether I did it or not, if I was homeless tomorrow, y'all be talking about me. If I do something to try to make my life better, y'all gonna talk about me for trying. And I like this shit that ASAP Rocky said. He was like, how you gonna knock me for trying? Like, when is trying stop being cool? You fucking losers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cool to try new shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Why not do that? Why not try to be an influencer because at least I have like a message behind my shit, and it's also I got the resume and just like the story just to be able to share that shit with somebody. So I do want to talk to the camera more. So it's like, but that's what I'm doing. I decided I want to do it. Got the microphone. Boom, I'm doing it now. So that's all that. Just go out and do it, man. Because one, ain't nobody gonna give you the opportunity. You gotta create it, and once you start doing it, you're gonna get criticized at first. And all those people criticizing you gonna want to work with you after.
Yo, what's up? Yo, T. You know how many people from Syracuse I've asked to do a podcast with?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about Syracuse mentality. I'm saying,
Yeah.
but the I don't know if they're waiting for somebody that I don't know what type of stripes they want the person to have or like what. Not how many. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll see. I'll just move. I'm like, bro, like no one else is interviewing you. And if
Right.
they do interview you, they're not gonna be as dynamic as me, baby. They're not gonna be on this type of platform and this type of
Yeah.
style. They're not gonna be talking this talk like me. And if they are, then cool. Kudos to them. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. And shout out to them. But like, get your story out there at the same time. Like you have,
Yeah. You
you have
never know where this shit gonna reach and who's gonna
you don't
see
know,
it.
you don't know who's
And
going.
that just give you another piece to even put out too. So it's like now I got an interview right now. You know what I'm saying? Like now I got another clip I can share with people to show them,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more of my story. Because like what I was gonna say, yeah, I did like I think Issa Rae said this, and like because people don't really think like this, you know, like people want to network up all the time, but they forget to network laterally too.
Oh my God, bro.
Because it's like, bro, you do not know what the person next to you got going on and where they could go, or what kind of connects they got, or where their platform gonna live at, or who gonna look at it. I guarantee you got a different audience than them. So guess what? Now you in their audience too. His audience get to learn about you. I was like, I don't. Yeah, I got to where I go and thinking how other people don't be thinking, man. Because like, if I hear an interview, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that. Why wouldn't I
That
want to share my story as much as I can?
But that comes from you having a vision about yourself and also being
Yeah,
around things and seeing different things. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah,
as much as I love where I'm from, I also recognize the mentality of where I'm from sometimes. You know what I mean? And I know not to criticize nobody and say nobody has big thinking and things like that. I know it's a lot of people there that do, creative, smart individuals, but at the
mm-hmm.
same time, it's like some people are just comfortable. You know what I mean? Just comfortable with just this is what it is. This is where I'm at, and this is what I want to be around, and that's fine.
Yeah,
And that's fine if that's what you want. But
mm,
if you see, if you're big on promoting, oh, I want to give back, or I want to help the next generation, or I want to progress and inspire others. Why would you not want to be in a space to like talk and like give that, articulate yourself and give that interview? Unless you got something biased, or unless you like, I don't really rock with, and that's your personal thing that
mm,
you got going on that you need to pray about. Because shit, man, we it's fire over here. It's beautiful over here.
yeah,
It's love
yeah.
over here.
Not fact. I think some people think, but they always say like you're not bigger than the program. People be thinking they're bigger than the program. Like they're bigger than the path, bigger than the journey. And it's like, bro, you are not at that. People are like no nobody specific, but it's like people think they're further on their journey than they really are, and so they think highly of themselves as they should,
You
you
should.
know. Always have that confidence, but also like know that these things are coming into your life to help you. And so if you just not taking those opportunities and then wondering why you stuck later, it's like, I mean, you was getting opportunities thrown your way, but you can't be bigger than them.
Man, to each his own, man. That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say. Let me ask you this before I go, bro. Where can we find you?
You can find me mainly on Instagram. It's Mr. spelled out Mister _Sampson. That's Sampson. And it's the same thing on TikTok.
Okay. Before we go, what's one thing you do, man? Being that you was not downloaded, but you were diagnosed with lupus at one particular time since 12. You have stories in and out of like being in jail. I mean, being in the hospital and things of that nature, bro. being in jail, being in jail. Well, the hospital is like jail sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, but
Yeah,
you got stories of being in the hospital and things like that. What's one thing you do, for your mental health, man, in terms of just your body? Like
walks, daily walks. every day, bro. Daily walks. I turn on some music, and then I just think about everything. I clear my mind, everything that I'm worried about. I realize what I've been through was way worse than what I'm worried about. And what I'm worried about, I ain't even worried about because it ain't happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving myself anxiety. So I take those walks, and as I clear my head when I'm walking, and I start to think about everything I came through and stuff that I've done, and kind of like it's like a reminder to myself every day. So by the time, and I do like, anywhere between like 3 to like 6 miles, and then when I get back, head clear, I'm confident. I know what I've done. I'm very aware of myself. My body's like active, blood flowing, and I'll be ready for action after that. I can take over the world after that. So that in the gym, man, that's what I do.
Yo, man, T, man, I wish you nothing but love, bro. You already know that. Next
Yeah,
time
definitely, bro. Man.
I can see you already doing bigger and better things, man. And you're gonna be telling me about how you got art tours going on within Syracuse. You gotta get to the gallery downtown, man. It's like you know where that's at. It's by the old Syracuse Hotel, that tall one, Syracuse
Yeah,
tall one downtown, something like that. I think it's off Fayette. I think it's what you talking about on Fayette over
it
there.
might be, yeah, because there's a few over there.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
few over
You got to get over there as well. Hey, man, peace and love, bro. Wish you nothing but success in your journey, man.
there. All right, brother.
Peace and love.
In this bittersweet moment, you are
Mac double. Motivation. Motivation. Yeah. Motivation. Yeah. I said I grew up on New Killers Park, they tools. She fresh about the gutter, got a body make you drool. I used to walk to school with all them damn fools. Look, you can hear the shots when you walk right past the pool. I knew it wasn't cool, but I had like to read. It's CEO status, drop them shackles and be free. My town had moved them keys, the city under siege. It's hard to make it here, it's like it's flooded and can't breathe. I used to be intrigued like birds in the trees. Had dreams of 745s driving overseas. Them women drop to knees, come give me what I needs. If you can make it, baby.